Welcome to SYNC-O-WICZ, your premier destination for election news and information. We are proud to present a brand new series designed to help you discover each candidate's platform. Join us where all candidates from all parties are welcome. Every candidate, every party, no filter. Let's jump in.
Hi, and welcome to SYNC-O-WICZ Presents Candidate Spotlight. I'm Linda SYNC-O-WICZ. I'm the founder and CEO of Fight Voter Fraud. And again, welcome to our new series specifically for candidates running for office this November across the United States. Our guest now is from Connecticut, and it is Chris Lancia. He is running for the Congressional District number 3. So
Hello.
welcome, Chris.
Hey, thank you for having me. I appreciate the opportunity.
Well, thank you so much for coming on. Now, you are running for the 3rd Congressional District here in Connecticut. And for those watching who aren't familiar with who is in that seat now, can you tell us who is our current Congresswoman?
We have
the
Rosa
3rd.
DeLore. She's a character. I think that's the easy way of putting it. She's been in, I think, over 35 years. She's 82 years old, and she still wants to run. But I don't think she has what it takes anymore. She's not looking at the problems the American people have, or especially the people in the state of Connecticut, where the highest tax everywhere you go, low education. She voted for open borders. She's voting for now not to fund the DHS, which really hits my heart because I'm an ex-Coast Guard alumni, and we had a person die, not even getting paid recently, a young kid, 27 years old. We have an attack on a president, and she refuses to help fund that. There's a lot of our policies are really progressive now, and we really need to change that in the state of Connecticut. We need to take more government out and only be there to assist. There's a lot of programs going on in corruption. We all know the state of Connecticut is corrupt as hell when it comes to elections. You know what you do now. And when I met you 7 or 8 years ago, when you were running for office at the time, and I come from Bridgeport, Connecticut, and I've been in politics since I was a kid because my dad dragged me through it, and I've seen it all. So when they tell it's not corrupt in the state, it's only because the politicians that want to stay in office say it's not corrupt. But I'm hoping to take her on.
And in case people aren't familiar, again, who Rosa DeLore is, just think purple hair. And the purple hair Congresswoman who sort of stands out amongst others. So you're going for her seat.
Yes.
Why should people in Connecticut vote for you?
I don't want to use age as a thing because I'm not discriminatory towards age if you still got it. She's out of touch. And I think I'm more in touch with the people. I'm a small business owner. I also have a job. I work in the telecommunications business. So that part of it, the business aspect, you have to run a government like a business. You can't keep writing blank checks. Rosa is one of the biggest reasons why we had the highest inflation in 40 years. She was the chairwoman of the Appropriations Committee at the time and was writing blank checks, whatever Biden's administration wanted. 2, I also have small children, 14 and 12-year-old, that are in the school systems, that are watching that education deteriorate and how they're being indoctrinated with all this other crazy nonsense. I'm a regular person, average guy, ex-law enforcement, ex-military. So that helps me in my background. And I also have a degree in emergency management that I got when I was 50. So I have a broad background and I work well with people. And I think that I can work across the aisle to get things done. But right now, it's about what she wants and the party wants. It's not about what the people of Connecticut want. And I say this every time I speak. If Washington wants to come to Connecticut and can tell Connecticut what to do, Connecticut needs to tell Washington what to do. So I think I'm a little more in touch with the people than she is. And I think I'd be a good fit down in D.C.
And you have been out actually campaigning for quite some time, going to all the different districts. So you've gotten a chance to talk to a lot of the voters here in Connecticut. So they know where you stand on all of this.
Yeah, like one of my main reasons.
So again, I mean, we have somebody.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you. No, like one of my main reasons for getting in this election was this men and women's sports. That's what fired it off. I have a 12-year-old daughter who's playing soccer, and there's no man is going to be in the bathroom. I don't care what you identify as, soap, towel. You're not being in there. You don't belong there. And I don't understand why we even have this discussion. She fought for that, and she's for that, and I'm not. That was what started it. And there was a lot of other things with border security and not bringing enough money back, to the state of Connecticut with businesses, taking credit for stuff like the $11.8 billion Sikorsky's got. That wasn't from her. That was from Trump and the administration because we were so depleted from not building in our military. The new shipyard, they're having all those subs that are coming in. That was all from this administration. Courtney wants to take credit for it. And I can't believe the people of Connecticut don't wake up. And I think I got a loud enough voice to start waking people up. And that's what we have to do. And last time I had any conversations with Rosa was in East Haven about a year ago. She was coming around with cameras and she was lying about Social Security. So I got up. First time I ever got on TV, when they actually would let me do it. And I went right at her. I told her straight for you're lying, you're lying, and you're lying. And she didn't know what to say. She ended up canceling, leaving. And now she does everything by the phone. So if you say anything, she can hang up on you. It was like, why don't you? I challenge her all the time. I have any time to go to a debate with her, but I would like a roundtable debate where everybody from all walks of life come in. And I love getting questions on the fly. I don't like when it's a board member or whatever. They got like a panel. I want the people that are suffering to ask me what I would do, and that's how I want to do it. But that was, like I said, one of the main reasons. But there's a lot of others now. Not funding, shutting governments down, but yet you still get paid. And like I said, I had a Coast Guard guy that we just read about that died. Those Secret Service agents just finally got paid, and they're still putting their lives on the line every day to do the right thing. And she's not. She just runs around, screams, and yells at everybody. Doesn't work anymore.
So one of the things that I'm guessing you would definitely want is an actual debate with her.
Oh, definitely.
Would that be something you'd push for?
Oh, yeah. Once, like I said, we got the convention coming up. Once we get past all of that, I definitely want. She's getting primary this time for the first time in I don't know how many years. Some guy named Rice or something is priming her on the Democrat side. So we got to get through all of that first and see who's still standing and the dust clears. But yes, I would love to. She likes to throw around that. Well, my grandparents came from Italy, and so did mine. I speak the language too, so I don't want to hear about it. We came here to work. But you took the statue away in New Haven, and it's in a museum, and she takes a picture all happy in the museum, and she admits that it was hers. And, I know it sounds minute in a lot of ways, because even my friends tease me that aren't Italian, but that statue meant a lot to the Italian people in that area. It was given to the Italian people for their contributions. So, yeah, it's a statue, but I would fight for anybody. If you're Spanish, African American, whatever you have, that's yours, that's your culture and your heritage. Nobody should ever take that away. So right now, it just happens to be Italian. In the district that I'm in is heavily populated that way, and that means a lot to them. And yeah, I'm going to fight back for it, and I'm going to go after her for it, because you put a bench with your mother's name on it, but you took a statue away. Now, whether people say good things and bad things about Columbus, like I tell everybody, there was no iCloud back then, so nobody knows exactly what happened in the 14th century. Or who does what? But we all know that he's the way that people know Italian people and the heritage. So that's something that I would like to find out why Eckler was involved in that, But again, back in the day, things are different. It's changed now.
Right. And one of the things that we've seen over the last administration happened to be taking away our history of our country. And that was a big thing even here in Middletown, Connecticut. The Columbus statue was taken. The Italian American Club actually has possession of it themselves.
Did they get it?
Now because
I didn't know where it went up there. They got possession of it. Good for them. Yeah, good.
Yes, they actually do have it themselves. I mean, they had difficulties because of the graffiti and stuff that was being done on it.
Yeah.
When you start drilling up hate, and that is one thing I'm sure you are absolutely against is, hate towards any constituents or anybody. You need to go on your merit, which is why I believe you're running, because you want to represent everyone. Every U.S. citizen.
Yeah, I want the state of Connecticut to have somebody in office that they're proud of, somebody who looks the part and acts the part and knows the part. And, my background being in the military and knowing all different aspects of that and law enforcement and what we need to do. Like, they killed our law enforcement up here in Connecticut. Now, the last 2 weeks, because it's election time, you're seeing state troopers on the highway. They tied their hands and handcuffed them so bad that they're scared to do their job, which can get them killed, or do something wrong and get somebody else killed. They're worried about not paying enough. They're torturing them, and they can't do their job. And then when they do their job, they get home. So, and that does start from, the state level. But again, if state isn't protecting us, because what do we pay taxes for? Protection, right? We're supposed to have good schools, state neighborhoods, protect. We're not getting any in the state of Connecticut, only the few. Lamont, they talk about defunding police, but he's got about 25 state troopers that surround him. If you're not afraid, then why you need a cop? What are you, better than somebody else? The real reason why I never took the vaccine is they told me, Congress was exempt. Well, if Congress is exempt from taking the shot, then so Chris Lancia is exempt. Because I'm running for Congress. I'm no better than anybody that I'm asking to vote for me. I'm just here. Hopefully they want me to represent them so I can do what they want. But why would Congress be exempt from taking a shot, but me and you aren't? Our police officers had to take it. Mm-hmm. So no, that means there was something fishy from day one. Politics is a dirty game. And I won't take it. I never took it then. I won't take it. And I won't let my kids take it. And my ex-wife, there's one thing we always agreed on, me and my ex-wife. She fought tooth and nail with the school system, and I backed her up 1,000%. And now you're finding all these things that are coming wrong with it. And even Fauci just had his underling under him as on Congress. Now they're indicting him for all kinds of information that he destroyed. Again, we have to get rid of this corruption. And I think if I go down there, do I agree with everything with President Trump? No, but I agree with a lot. I agree with a lot of his policies because I think that way. You know what I mean? We have to have law and order.
And
you know?
Right. Law and order. And do you agree that we should only have U.S. citizens voting in U.S. elections?
You know, I don't even know why that's an argument, honestly. It says United States of America. You can't go to Mexico and vote. They'll put you in jail for 10 years. And that jail is not like ours where they got gym weights and all that. Over there, you're going to survive. You know, so why is that? I can't understand the conversations we're having. That's what, like I said, really pushed me to really want to get down there, you know, and change ways of frame of mind. Because again, men do not belong in bathrooms. If you tried that years ago, you'd be locked up or whatever else the father court ordered. You're voting in our elections that you're not even a citizen. So how is that? The Constitution states, and even dual citizenship. If you're not a full-time citizen, you shouldn't be able to run for office. If you're holding a dual citizenship, and I'm Italian, so if I did two, that's not right. I mean, where's my loyalty? All the Italian Americans, even the first generation, even the ones that came here, went and fought in World War II against Italy because their loyalty was to here. And that's what I'm seeing difference in a lot of the people that are coming over here now. Their loyalty is not to America. It's to wherever they're from. They want to make enough money and get back home. And being in the business I'm in, we hire a lot of there's a lot of Russians, Ukrainians, Jamaican, there's a lot of different people, Brazilians. And, there's you can see the difference. Like, yeah, they like to be here, but for the money only. My grandfather came here. He only came here in 1919, went back in 1965, never went back and said, I want to be buried here. I made my life in America, and that's how you should be. But I learned my heritage that I'm extremely proud of, and I love that. I learned it. But again, I'm American. Always comes first. I'm an American Italian, not Italian American. And I tell people all the time, I was born here, but I'm blessed being Italian. That's what I tell everybody. So, this Italian American thing. If you came from Italy and came here, then you're Italian American. But no, it goes the other way. And I'm proud as hell, believe me, my heritage. But there's a lot of work to be done in Washington. There's a lot of things that need to be fixed. I think we're heading in the right direction, but I think there's still a lot of work done there.
And you are absolutely the candidate that will represent everyone.
I hear people when they campaign, they talk about different races and like who needs what. No, everybody. You got to bring the work and the jobs and everything back to every culture: Italian, white, black, Spanish, Chinese, purple, brown. I don't care who it is. You got to bring it back so everybody has the right opportunity. Because America was built on opportunity, not on race, not on culture. It was built on opportunities. So all good paying jobs need to come back to everybody. Education, I'm huge on that. And two things I really want to. Instead of giving all these colleges these $5 billion endowments, that money needs to go to trade schools. I don't know what people think that they teach kids just to go to college for a bachelor's art degree in philosophy when nobody's building buildings or being an electrician. Special needs is another big issue. I have friends of mine that I go to fundraisers for just so that they can support their children. I don't get that. You could give $1.6 billion to illegal aliens, but you have your own people here and they're having fundraisers to support their children. Something's wrong with that, and that has to change. And the one good thing you're getting down there, you could hold the purse. And what I mean by that is you could force the governor and them to do things right if they want the federal money and not just take it and spend it on their own.
And would you also push to have Connecticut not be a sanctuary state?
Yeah, I just talked about that. I'm glad you brought that up because I want laws. I want governors to go to jail, mayors to go to jail. This is America. This is sanctuary America. This is America. We have laws and one law. And the law is that you don't harbor fugitives because when you tell a chief of police or whoever, don't arrest somebody, you tell them, that's such injustice. You go to jail for that. If I did it and your son, I was blocking, hiding you from the law, I'd be harboring a fugitive. You're doing the same thing. These people that they're chasing, they're not the guy that did come here quietly for 30 years and didn't bother anybody and get in trouble. These are pedophiles, which is unheard of that many pedophiles getting arrested. You got murderers, rapists, mentally ill, pushing people in front of trains, lighting people on fire. And I want the prosecutors and the judges that are letting them out to go to jail. That poor little girl in North Carolina or South Carolina, I forget exactly, she got stabbed in the neck by the cuckoo guy. 34 felony counts, and the judge lets him out after the parents said, leave my son in jail, he's a danger. That judge should have went to jail for manslaughter. Or you would have charged you want to give it because you're letting these vicious people out. And then a person like me who wants to protect myself, if they come in my house and I do something to them, you want to arrest me, but they came in my house, but I didn't invite them. So the law, the scales of justice went the opposite way. You know what I mean? And that's why, you see them sheriffs like Grady Judd and all those guys on TV, they back the citizens up and they back the law. We're a lawless society right now. Prosecutors, that poor kid that stuck up for that lady on the train, he was an ex-Marine. and he choked the kid. The kid died, but it wasn't because of the way he held him, because he didn't really choke him out. He just held him. And they wanted to crucify that kid. Now nobody's going to help anybody that's in trouble, because now you got to figure out you're going to lose your life behind bars.
It's just has gone insane in the last decade, basically, or even in the last 5 years on how people look at everything. Now, the United States of America welcomes everybody, and we have a proper way of getting into the country. It's been established for years.
Yeah.
So this is something I know you support, again, coming in here legally, the legal way. And also you obviously support ICE.
Oh, big time. I was in an academy with those guys. We all go to the same academy. It's called Flexi. I graduated in 2017. I went in a couple more years. Then law enforcement is not for me anymore. Just, the money wise and the kids and stuff. But it was fun to go through. It was a dream I always had. And somebody called me up. I was in the Coast Guard and said, you're overweight. You can't do it. You're never going to make it. I think I was 46. And I finally found somebody to hire me. And I went in. I did my hours. I got everything, there. And I passed 10th. And I graduated. Did it for a couple of years and got back in the cable business. It's just a little bit too much on the family life, that it was, and the stress and the way the times were changing compared to, my age bracket and the way we think and the way they're doing things nowadays. You get yourself killed on that job because of what they want you to do, because of policy and procedure. So, and just that poor state trooper, the guy that John Meyer's name is, a trooper, gave his opinion about immigration and asking Trump to come in because of Tong, and they gave him a discipline on him, which should have been really nothing anyways. Now they're trying to say he was in uniform. Well, what is Tong in a suit when he's suing everybody? He's out in front of crowds when he's supposed to be getting paid. He's supposed to be in his office, spending $100,000 a pop on 38 lawsuits that he loses. What about all the, and what's his name, Murphy, when he went to Iran? He should have been in jail right then and there. Yeah. Nobody's supposed to talk on the government except for Secretary of State, which is authorized by the President of the United States. So why didn't he get arrested for treason? So,
I know. People don't realize what we have to deal with here in the state of Connecticut. I mean, we have Murphy, we have Blumenthal, we have, as you were just talking about, Attorney General Tong, who supports illegals over U.S. citizens. So you are a voice of reason that we need, not only representing us here in Connecticut, but also representing the people across the country.
That's what I do.
And if people want to start somewhere to clean things up, we absolutely need you to take out Rosa DeLauro or whoever may be primarying her here in Connecticut. And this is where we really need to start. Like I said, Connecticut is not lost. We can come back.
Connecticut's a purple state, but two things that need to be done. People have to get out and vote, and the corruption has to stop. Which you've been doing this for 6-7 years now, on the corruption thing. Now you finally got a justice system that's actually going to work with you, help you. Hopefully, they take what you have and all that information you have and start locking people up. But people don't realize how corrupt in the swamp that Connecticut is. It's probably, if not the most corrupt state in the world when it comes to elections. We're gerrymandered. Like, you don't believe. And I'm like, how many times you ran a couple times up there against a crooked system up that area. Middletown still has people voting that go to that college over there, and then they end up leaving and they vote in their own state and they're still voting in Connecticut. And we had that problem that year that we were all running, but Margaret was running and everything. So listen, we got to get the corruption out. You got to have a fair election. Anybody who doesn't want a fair election on either side of the aisle means you're cheating.
So before we conclude on this, I wanted to bring up the Carter-Baker Commission from 2005, which was Jimmy Carter, Democrat, talking about what needs to be done for elections. It's something that I'm guessing that you support, the fact that we need to make some changes.
Yeah, but even that was all Democratic, and now they don't want it. They went from one way to another because their narrative was being fit at the time. They're getting beat up by Republicans in certain areas because their policies are horrible now. I mean, Democrats back in the day were different. They were pretty close to Republican. Now they're so far off. It's insane. But now it's not good. Jimmy Carter is supposed to be the big Democrat for years, the most honest guy around, building houses for Habitat. And now you don't want to agree with them. So that needs to be brought up. And I'm going to actually start using that a lot more on my campaign show because my opponent was thinking that she was part of that. She's agreement with that, but now she's not. When she ran against Margaret and the last couple of her opponents, by 8 o'clock, they called the race. 8:05, 8:10. How do you know that at 8:05 when the polls just closed at 8 o'clock? So the fix is in and we have to stop it. We need people to vote, Linda, before I know we conclude. please, everybody, you got to get on vote. Republicans, you're beating yourselves. We're not a blue state. We're a purple state. We have a lot of abilities.
Absolutely.
We can win this election and we can turn the state around. We just have to get out and vote. Don't think we're beat. You're not beat unless you beat yourself. So that's all I can tell.
Absolutely. So final thoughts.
Final thoughts is after November, I'm going to be in D.C. helping out Connecticut. It's not an easy task with Rosa. I just thank God every day. I pray every day, and I'm good with my kids, and I give my kids, everybody's out there. I have a lot of support, thank God. It was not easy. Like, I can't even get on Channel 8 and them. I've written them 5 times. The guy even admitted that he got my letter last summer, and they still haven't put me on. Again, I just hope that everybody doesn't fight with each other. We stay united after all the primaries are done and the smoke is cleared, and that we take over, some seats. I hope people would step up and run, because we have so many vacant seats in Connecticut. And even if we get a Republican governor, they're going to have an uphill battle the whole time. It's one thing to have a majority, but it's another thing to have a supermajority, which means they could even overturn vetoes. So,
Absolutely.
I just hope everybody understands that we can change if we really want it. We just got to work for it.
Well, I want to thank you so much, Chris Lancia, for coming on. And you are running for Congress in the 3rd District here in Connecticut. Thank you.
Thanks, Linda. It was great seeing you.
And I know you'll do a great job.
I'll see you in a couple of weeks.
Thank you.
Thanks, Linda. I appreciate you.